What's up YouTube? This is John Helm with Helm, Woodshop, and Smithy back with another video. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to get done today. A bunch of just random assorted tasks around the shop. So I don't want to list them off now. I don't know which ones I'm going to be able to get to and which ones I'm not. So let's get started. Task numero uno. This piece here that I filled a knot hole with the epoxy is not taking stain as well as the other pieces. And that sucks because it means that this knot hole is extra conspicuous because I dyed the epoxy black. So we have this really dark spot here, and then you can still kind of see the color of the wood all throughout the piece. Now this can happen if the scratches from your sanding disc are burnished over, which is when you sand, you leave a bunch of little like hairs or fibers of wood sticking up. And if you have a worn out sanding disc or you apply too much pressure to your sander, you can smash all of those down flat. And now you don't have the surface area necessary to absorb the stain the way you want it to. And it looks like that's what happened on this piece. So I'm going to rough it up with some 120 and slap another coat of stain on it and hope that does the trick. By Jove, I think I've done it. Well, that went swimmingly. I hit it with a fresh 120 disc real fast and it sucked the stain right up. It's jet black just like all the other pieces are. Perfect. That's way too much talking. I'm talking way too much. In any event, it went really well. The piece looks great, so moving on. Now I need to clean up the shop and I need to get rid of all the dust out here because I'm gonna be I'm gonna be spraying polyurethane, and I don't want that dust to settle into it while it's drying. That is a big no-no, and that's how you ruin a finish real fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. There's a lot that has to go down though. This garage is a mess. So let's get started on that. Here we go, it is all cleaned up. And oh, there's a vagrant in my shop. Hold on. It's ready to start spraying. But this is my friend and fellow blacksmith, Jesse. He came over so we could make a base for his hydraulic forging press. Alright, we have the indecipherable plans drawn up, so now we're going to hit up Lowe's and grab 7 10-foot 2x4s. And hopefully that'll be enough. See you in a bit. Alright, we are back from Lowe's. We got a bunch of 2x4s. Let's do it. here's a stand for his hydraulic forging press. It is not the prettiest table in the world, but it is definitely sturdy and it'll be effective for holding the forging press. It's getting to be the end of the day, so I'm gonna call it quits now. I'll be back tomorrow and try to finish the rest of stuff I have on the list. Yesterday was a really big day in the shop. I got a lot done, and so this morning I feel a little old, a little bit stiff in some places that aren't as spry as they used to be. So I'm not gonna be doing a whole lot today. Plus it's Christmas Eve and I'm just gonna hang out in the house with my family for the majority of the day. But I had a couple of toys out here that I wanted to play with. Let's go take a look at them. Toy number one is a 12-inch disc grinder that my wife got me for Christmas. And by got me, I mean she allowed me to purchase it. There really isn't anything special about this grinder. It's just a 12-inch disc grinder that I bought from Harbor Freight. So of course it is the highest quality tool available on the market. But even though there's nothing really cool about it, it should really cut down on the amount of time it takes me to produce, especially smaller knives, because I won't have to spend so much time flattening everything on a piece of sandpaper and a tile. This will definitely save me a lot of time, and it's gonna be good to have around. No grinder is useful if it isn't squared up properly, so I'm gonna go ahead and square up the fence, and I don't know, maybe I'll flatten off a knife scale or something just to test it out and see how it runs. So in trying to square that up, I really got a feel for the lack of exacting standards that this thing was made to. Nothing is square. None of the readings on the fence are even remotely close to the actual angle that they reflect. Everything feels really rickety and crappy. So hopefully it runs well. I'm gonna test it out now. Well, it looks flat. Let's see how flat it actually is with a straight edge. This is quite possibly the flattest thing I've ever produced in this shop. It is dead flat. This is awesome. The machine, it feels dinky, at least the accessories do. But when you turn it on, it feels really heavy and solid. It doesn't vibrate, it doesn't make a lot of noise. It runs really smooth and nothing slows it down. Even bearing on it pretty hard, the disc just keeps on spinning. So I'm actually really happy with the quality of the grinder. I'm not really going to be relying on the fence very frequently for this anyway. I'll mostly just be flattening off the flats on knives and on scales. So for that, it functions flawlessly. Couldn't ask for it to be better. And this piece of wood is a pretty good looking maple. It's hard to see on the camera, geez. There we go. The next toy on my agenda is the long and eagerly anticipated wheel for my grinder. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up. One little trick of the trade, something that you should know, is if you ever have to take anything off or put anything on your grinder where you're gonna be removing bolts and screws, move your spark bucket underneath the bench before you do it. Because otherwise, I can almost guarantee you're gonna drop a bolt in the nasty bucket of water and have to fish it out. had a 7 on there before, but I don't have a VFD, so this thing was just always balls to the wall, and it made it really difficult to control your grinding, especially when you're moving up the grid. But that shouldn't be an issue anymore now that I have the smaller one, so let's throw a belt on here and see how she runs. Well, this plat needs to be adjusted. Yeah, see it's crooked here. Okay, we'll adjust that and then we'll run it. It's like having a brand new grinder. It sounds so smooth and slick. It was starting to sound really labored when I was grinding the last couple of months before I got these new wheels on here. The 4-inch drive wheel was definitely a good idea. The slower speed of the belt, I didn't really even heat this piece of wood up at all. It still cut away at it pretty quickly. Of course, not as quickly as it was before, but I didn't feel like I really was worried about it getting yanked out of my hand or putting a huge divot in it. So I may not be able to grind things as quickly as I did before, but the added control is definitely necessary for the applications that I'm using this for. So I'm really happy. Thank you, Ameribraid, for getting me all of my wheels. You didn't get them to me on time, but you did get it to me. I'm afraid that the guy has mailed me more than one replacement wheel, because every time I sent him an email, he said, oh yeah, we'll send it to you right away. And after the last email, the next day I got this. So I'm afraid that he would have done it again. If he did it again, I hope he did it again 2 times, because I don't know what I'm gonna do with just one platen wheel. I don't know, if I just got one, maybe I'll make a video of me fabricating a small wheel attachment arm or something for this. Anyway. That's all I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna go inside and spend some time with my family. Till then, thank y'all for joining me. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and Merry Christmas.